Segment 4, A Bound Man, about Barack Obama. What just happened on November 4th? And now I'm edging away from race to the political culture of the United States. Two quotations. One's from you and one's from Tom Sowell, your friend, our friend. Shelby Steele, quote, "On the level of policy, Obama was quite unremarkable. His economics were the redistributive axioms of old-fashioned Keynesianism. His social thought was a recycled great society," close quote. This guy's thinking, policy thinking, is at best 40 years out of date.
Right.
Tom Sowell, quote, "This man has been a far-left ideologue for 20 years," close quote.
Yeah.
Is Barack Obama a tweaker of the status quo, just a stale old Democrat in policy terms, or is he a hard left ideologue?
I don't think.
And how on earth can you and Tom Sowell look at the same man and draw such different conclusions?
I don't think of him. Well, it is. Let me put it this way. He is certainly going to try to be more than a tweaker of the status quo. He's going to come in with economic policies that are Keynesian. He's going to raise taxes on all sorts of people, on capital gains and corporations, and he's going to spend money on great society style social. He's going to take us sort of backward to that era. He's not going to speak ideologically. You're never going to see the ideological fire in his eyes, but he is going to definitely try to take the country back in that direction. There's no doubt about that.
All right. Let me give you a longish quotation from Mark Stein, but it's a quotation like everything from Mark Stein that really delivers, and I want to see if this makes sense to you. Quote, "The president-elect's so-called tax cut excuse me, will absolve 48% of Americans from paying any federal tax at all. Just under half the population will be on the dole. By 2012, it'll be more than half. This will be an electorate with the majority will be able to vote itself more lollipops from the minority still dumb enough to prioritize self-reliance, dynamism, and innovation over the cocoon of the nanny state. That is the death of the American idea," close quote. Mark Stein is arguing that while we're all obsessed with the cultural and racial significance of this new president, precisely what you talk about, the old-fashioned great society, incrementalism, government gets bigger and bigger and bigger. We're at a tipping point, and
Right.
Barack Obama is likely to take us past it.
But you know what's interesting to me about that? No white candidate in America could have won an election based on those policies. It had to be somebody who could bring to bear on this old-fashioned socialistic point of view the moral authority of race, the moral authority of being black. That's the insidious and interesting thing to me. No white man could. John Edwards could never win an election based on policies like that. That I'm going to raise taxes. You're running and you win on a
So
on a
his
program.
special appeal to liberals is that everything old is new again.
The price America is paying for its racial history is this reversion. Is that we've. And I've had friends, liberal friends, say, "Well, it took me a little while, but I said, okay, maybe I should pay more taxes if I'm going to get a black man in the White House. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll pay the price." That's what happened, and we are going to pay the price now. We are going to pay the price because that same racial moral authority is going to be his greatest weapon as a president. Who's going to want to stand in his way and block all of these beneficent things that he wants to do, this redistribution of the wealth to people who've been locked out. It's always going to work for him.
Let me try another longish quotation.
Because whites are still motivated by race, the dummies.
Okay.
There's painful ironies, because I grew up in segregation. Let me one little point. I grew up in segregation. Oh, God, I'd pray for some white liberals. Where are these people? You know, then the same people now whose attention I couldn't get then now are voting for Obama. It's
okay. My embryonic political movement is Shelby for president. Okay, another longish quotation makes a different point, makes it in a very compelling way, and I think delivers. I want to put this on the table and see how you respond, so it's worth a longish quotation. This is from Peter Hitchens, not Christopher Hitchens.
His brother.
His brother Peter, who disagrees with him on everything, but writes with the same rat-a-tat-tat irresistibility. Quote, I was in Washington, D.C. the night of the election. There had been a few white people blowing car horns and shouting as the result came clear, that is, as Obama's victory becomes clear. But among the Mexicans, Salvadorans, and other third world nationalities, there was something like ecstasy. They grasped the real significance of this moment. They knew it meant that America had finally switched sides in a global cultural war. Suspicious of welfare addiction, totally committed to preserving its own sovereignty, unabashedly Christian in a world part secular and part Muslim, the United States was unique. Now the U.S., like Britain before it, has begun the long, slow descent. Where now is our last best hope of earth? Close quote. Now, I think it'd be pretty easy to deride that as a racist, or as the English might put it, racialist comment, but it's not really. He's making a cultural argument, right?
Yeah, I think he is. I think he's saying...
Sound? Is there something to it? How do you respond?
No, I think there's definitely... there is definitely something to it. What he's saying is that, in one sort of sense, is this: that in the election of Obama, so if a black like Colin Powell had been elected president,
right,
nothing would change much. He is at the very least a centrist right sort of figure who's not going to. But Obama really does want. He likes identity politics. He really does want to use his moral authority as a black to usher America into a new kind of an era, of a new kind of age, and white Americans have now, I guess, pretty much, at least for the moment, I think this may change, but for the moment they've signed on to that. And because with the race also comes the cultural change, also comes the assault on classic American values like hard work and merit and fairness and so forth, rather than government interventionism and so forth. Obama's going to use his racial moral authority to take us in that direction. So I would.
There's something there.
There is something there. It's a bit scary.